Yeah, when the wind's blowing like this, 80, 90 miles an hour, my hair just gets messed up. Oh, hi, good morning, everybody. Chris Allen, Executive Chef, Papakona here for another Cooking in Paradise segment here at Papakona Restaurant. We've actually had to shift to Studio D. We're very fortunate. This is all part of our event space, and we've been able to move to different areas. The wind was blowing a little bit too hard on the other side for my little Susie Homemaker portable stoves. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna have some fun with potatoes, okay? We're gonna do 2 potato dishes, a couple of which that I'm looking possibly to put onto our menu here at Papakona once we do reopen. One of them is a real, they're actually both real classic French potato dishes. The first one that I'm gonna do is called Pommes, and I'm going to also do a Pommes Purée. Now, Pommes is, it's so simple, but there's some precision to it. And the main precision to making a Pommes is actually controlling your heat. It's actually one of the very first dishes that you do in any classic French culinary school. It's probably within the first week of the curriculum that you end up doing Pommes. So what I'm going to do is I've actually got some of my potatoes peeled right here, ready to go. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to peel the potato again, just to show you. Now, this potato peeler goes both ways. If you want to run it back and forth, that's fine. You'll also notice here that I have a little bit of plastic wrap down, so I can get my trimmings and just pick them up real easily. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to show you guys how to cut the potatoes for the Pommes Purée, and we're going to get those boiling. I'm going to see if I can't get the potatoes done simultaneously here. I'm going to go ahead and peel this potato down, get all these little skin portions off. Okay, easy peasy. Now again, for some of you that have seen the other potato dishes, if you haven't seen it before, this is a very dangerous little tool in the kitchen. Don't underestimate it. It may look friendly, but he'll take a piece of skin off your finger very easily. So be careful of it. Don't just think of some kitchen tools as being nice and won't hurt you. This one will hurt you. Okay, so you saw how I did that on my plastic wrap right here. And if you notice my little caterpillar, by the way, I got a microphone now here at Papakona Production Studio. Pretty exciting. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just take that up and get rid of it. Easy. Done. Out of the way. Okay? So let's turn our attention to getting our potatoes ready for our Pommes Purée. So I'm going to put some water right here. Take some of this water. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. I'm not going to add a whole heck of a lot of water to that, because I'm not going to use a high volume of potatoes. You can do 4 or 5 potatoes, and that'll easily feed a family of 6. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those down. And what I'm looking to do is get nice, even-sized pieces of potato, right? If they're off sizes, what does that tell you? That tells you that they're not going to cook evenly, and we want to have a nice, even cook on these potatoes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those down like so. Now again, I don't scoop everything up on my knife because this is very dangerous. Okay, be careful. I'm just going to scoop them up with my hand and just drop those right into the water now. Now let's turn our attention to Pommes. I have a tool here that wasn't allowed in culinary school. Okay, when they taught Pommes in culinary school, one of the main reasons for it being taught was knife skills. It was a very precise knife skill. You could only make Pommes in culinary school with a knife. I want to make sure my water's on, because again, the wind's easily 90 to 100 miles an hour is blowing right now. Well, okay, maybe like 30, but it's still pretty windy, but it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous day here in Studio D. This is a beautiful cove also. Okay, so in culinary school, like I said, you had to use your knife, and a couple of tricks that I used to always do whenever I'd make my Pommes is I try and get my potato peeled down to almost a perfect cylinder. I didn't want to have a super thick spot versus a super thin spot. So some of these high spots here, I'm just going to work them down and get it to be a little bit more concentric, if you will. I'm guessing that's the right word. Concentric? Concentric? I'll get this out of the way. That can be bye-bye. Now, one of the things that, so that looks good. It's nice and equal, kind of nice little tube, if you will. Okay? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So I'm going to try and match this one up. Any of the ridges. So like I was saying, in culinary school, it was more about your knife skills. This was really to help you start getting your knife sharpened to a point where you could actually do this. Okay, so culinary school. Go through this really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and take off that edge one. So it's really a matter of getting your finger lined up. And going through it just like that. And when you do it with a knife, it's normally just a push through. I'm not sawing. See how I'm just pushing through? One stroke down. I'm not going like this, back and forth. It's not necessary. That's not how you want to do this dish. Now the other thing when you do it is you don't want to soak these in water. You want to just let them sit just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and check my size here. That's actually just about right. You see how it's bendable like that? Okay, I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit. Go just a hair thinner. There. That's great. It's almost like you could read a paper through it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the way. I'm just going to work with these. Go ahead and get this done. But I'm going to work rather quickly now. Oh, being able to cheat in culinary school with a mandolin would have been really, really something special. But I had a lot of good chef instructors. They would have caught on to that for sure. Now, to the first part of the lesson of watching your fingers when you're working with things. This will actually take something off. This can actually take a good portion of your finger off. So always respect the mandolin. I've seen some of the worst accidents in kitchens with the mandolin. How do you tell the chef that's been using the mandolin way too much? He's the guy with four fingers. But that's just a bad kitchen joke. Sorry. Shouldn't joke about stuff like that. Because then it ends up coming in full circle and biting you. And you end up with no finger. Like what I'm doing right now. Here, zoom in on this. Not good. Having my knife upright. Not a smart position to have your knife. Got to be aware when you're cooking. Okay, that looks terrific. I got enough potato. I'll just do a couple more. Why not? Okay. Under you go. Bye-bye. Now, working quickly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick some of this clarified butter right down on the pan. This is some beautiful clarified butter. Now, clarified butter is a long process to do. Maybe we can cover it someday. So what I'm going to do here is I actually have some nice green that I want to do in between this first layer. I'm going to put a little bit of green right on this first layer of potato. Okay. And then I'm going to just go ahead and start building a rosette pattern right around this. Now, in school, what you're trying to get to is about 4 to 5 layers at a minimum. 4 to 5 layers at a minimum. And we would actually be graded on that as such. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of build this up. Now, the reason why I didn't rinse these, okay, it's very critical, is it'll take this starch off. This starch that's being released in the potato is going to help this stick together, okay? That's what we're going to kind of bind it with. Just going to continue to go right around this potato and continue to build it. Now what I want to do is I actually want to measure it to this, because this is going to be my presentation cup. A little bit too wide this way, so I'm going to narrow it down just a skosh. I want it to fit right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of these potatoes, just like so. And just kind of build this up. Now the beautiful thing about this is once it gets done, is it has a beautiful creaminess to the center with a beautiful golden brown crunch. Now I've gone up about 3 layers there. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some salt and pepper. And go ahead and keep on building. You guys all with me so far? That's good. There's going to be a test after today's class. If you're not paying attention, you're going to have to stay after school. Oh, staying after school in culinary school was always a good thing, because you'd always learn more. Did a lot of extracurricular work in culinary school. I'm gonna go ahead and make mine even better. Now some people, this is very, very classic French way of doing it, okay? Can you get crazy with this? Sure. Some people will put little layers of onion, some will put a little layer of garlic, some will put a little layer of herbs. This dish actually doesn't need any foo-foo more than just doing it properly and building it properly like this and getting the structure built. It's all about kind of building a solid structure of the potatoes here. Kind of almost like a crisscross, if you will. A lattice pattern where I'm just going on up. I think the most I ever had a student make on a Pommes, and I think he did a 9 layers of Anna. The key, or the trick, if you will, to doing that is really regulating your heat. Now, I could have put up I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more of this butter right on top, and we're going to add just a little bit more down on the bottom here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right onto the little handy dandy mini easy bake oven. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Make sure it's on. Now again, like I was saying in the beginning of this is truly about when you're in your first days of culinary schools, learning how to control your heat. Like I've always taught people, is the most critical thing to learn is there's this little handy gauge right on the side, and there's this blue stuff that comes out, and when it's super high, it's hot, and then if you bring the blue stuff down a little bit, it's not as hot. Very critical for you guys to learn that. If I can have you learn anything today, learn about controlling your heat. Okay, that's really, really one of the most critical things. So I'm going to just go ahead and let that go. We'll turn our attention over here to our potatoes and see if they got to the doneness point that I wanted. So we'll zoom in real quick and look. It's pretty close. You know what? It's actually close enough for government work. I'm going to let it go for just a couple more seconds and introduce you to my what is it, the second star of the show. This is my second star of the show. It's called a food mill, okay? I actually just learned something recently from our restaurant manager, and shout out to you, Tom, if you happen to be watching, because you're on the mainland right now. I actually learned a different name for it. It's actually also called a mouli mill. Mouli mill, and I never had learned that before. I'd only learned it as a food mill. Okay, there's also another form of a tool that you can use for this. It's called a ricer, okay? A ricer. What a ricer is if you were to imagine, you know the little handy garlic presses that you see in stores? Which, don't ever buy one. Never waste any money on a garlic press, please. Save your money, okay? That's another tip of the day. The ricer is a big, giant garlic press that you actually put a whole potato in and you squeeze it together and it pushes out the potato and makes it a very fine potato. And that's what we're trying to achieve here today. If you'll notice on the bottom of this, it's got these holes. And then on the top, there's a blade. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be forcing the potatoes through this. Now, If you don't have a ricer at home, which you may not, that's fine. You could just mash it. Use a potato masher. Smash it up. This technique that we're doing here today, guys, in this food mill this is what a very, very classic French chef by the name of Joel Robuchon. I'm going to do his technique of these potatoes, and the reason why we've done them here as well at Papakona when we're running our fine dining steakhouse is, even though it's just a Pommes puree or mashed potato, it's got to be delicious, and it is if it's done properly. You can't overwork these potatoes, because if you do that, if you harken back to when you were in first grade and you made the potato starch paste and glue, it'll make glue. He actually got Michelin stars solely on the account of his delicious potato. Just a classic French chef. Really, really innovative guy.
We have a question from the crowd.
Okay, question?
Is the Pommes on medium low or medium?
Good question. It's on a little bit higher of a heat. Medium high would be about the temperature. Okay, medium high. And again, if you see it sizzling way too much, like right now, it happened pretty quickly. I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn down the heat, and not keep it going at that really hot sizzly level. The reason why is I've got to get all the way through. I'm trying to get that heat transfer from the top and the bottom to cook those potatoes in the center. And that's what gives you a beautiful creaminess to this dish, okay? Sometimes at that point where the first level was being done, some people don't want to, they're very scared to flip it, actually. That's one of the biggest tricks of making a Pommes is actually the flip. So some people would actually finish it in an oven. It's kind of a little bit of a cheat. You can do it if you feel comfortable with that. That's not a problem. Now, Chef Robuchon, when he would do his potatoes, he would actually cook the potatoes whole, and I believe he uses Yukon Golds. I have russets here. I'm a little bit more partial to the russets. So I'm gonna just take them out hot. So when they do theirs, for his restaurants still to this day, they'll pull the potatoes hot out of the water, and they'll actually have a series of 6 or 7 chefs around peeling the potatoes, popping them into the food mill, and they actually have competitions to see who can do the best potato in an honor to their former chef.
What kind of potatoes are you working on?
This is actually the Pommes puree that I'm switching to. I'm sorry. While that Anna's going, we're going to make a quick switch over here to Pommes puree. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of some of this water real quick, and I'm going to heat up my cream. So I have some heavy cream here, and I'm merely just going to heat. This is about a cup of cream. I'm not going to give you guys a measurement again today. This is more about watching your food, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add my cup in there. That's great. And I've turned down my heat quite a bit over here on my Anna. Make sure it's still on. Okay, great, still on. Heating my cream. Now, this really wasn't part of Chef Robuchon's dish of his potatoes, but I'm going to actually infuse a little bit of garlic right into my cream. I love garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and just chop that up real quick. Give it some essence. Again, I'm not going to scoop it up on the knife. Fight that temptation. I'm going to go ahead and add that right in there. I'm just going to infuse that flavor. While that's going on, I have my food mill right on top of this pot here. And what you do when you're using a food mill is it's 3 rotations, 2, 3, and then backwards. 1, 2, 3, backwards. 1, 2. Go ahead and smash some of these down. That's fantastic. 1, 2, 3. 1. Scoop it up. 1, 2, 3. Scoop it. Go ahead and press all this down. Now again, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, it's so key not to overwork your potatoes. It has a lot of starch molecules in it, and it could be very gummy. You don't want a gummy potato. What I'm going for is a beautiful, nice, airy. That's already done. Came up to a boil, that's great. Just turn down the heat. Just want to get this in. Now, one of the beautiful things about working in Hawaii, it can be, it can actually be either good or bad. It's all in perspective, okay? When you're trying to bake with butter in Hawaii, I'd rather go up the volcano and jump off and try and do a laminated dough in Hawaii. However, for something like this, my butter consistency, just leaving it out, is a beautiful, not quite melted all the way, but it's super soft, and it's actually perfect for my application of this dish. It's already, I'm not putting in a cold butter to this. I'm already putting in a, if you will, a already melted butter. I'm just going to get the last few little naughty bits out of here. Try and get every little bit. I actually have a little bit more potato. Might as well do these. I was ready for through the magic of TV today. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back. Another job that's great for children, if you guys want to do this with your kids, I think you guys have kind of noticed that I'm really big on you coming together with your family in the kitchen during these hard times. I know it's pretty difficult and you can only play so much. Is Nintendo still a thing? Kids playing Nintendo? No? What is it now? I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what I stopped playing video games at Atari 2600. Am I dating myself? It's not too long ago. Only 70 or 80 years ago. Okay, that's beautiful. That looks beautiful. Go ahead and put that underneath and come in and take a quick little close-up of that. You'll see how that texture is. It's almost like rice, okay? But it's very, very soft and beautiful. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start doing this in increments. I'm going to go ahead and scoop a little butter in, and then I'm going to go ahead and scoop a little bit of this heavy cream in. Now again, this is why I don't want to give you guys a measurement on this, okay? This is about technique, okay? How am I going to stir this? I'm going to be very, very gentle with it. Very gentle. Get that incorporated. First little batch in, incorporated. Hitting it with another one, okay? So what is that? That's 2 tablespoons so far. And this is about, so far, about a 1/4 cup of milk or cream, heavy cream. Gonna mix that up. Gorgeous. I'm gonna try and incorporate all that butter and cream before the next addition, because what's happening right now is those starch molecules are just sucking up all that liquid, okay? Beautiful, beautiful, soft, pillowy. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little salt and pepper. Some chef would use white pepper and not black pepper in their mashed potatoes. I don't stand on that precedent. I hate white pepper, just on general principle. I don't know why. I have very strong opinions. I hear some of my chefs out there saying, yeah, what about rosemary, chef? Well, someday I'll tell you my story of rosemary and why I hate rosemary. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add just a touch more cream to that. And then, like what I've been teaching all along, boys and girls, what's the most critical part of cooking? Tasting. I got to taste it. I know that's why I weigh 450 pounds, but, you know, they say the camera adds 70 or 80 pounds. So, all right, that looks beautiful. I'm really enjoying the consistency of it. Go ahead and taste that. Definitely more butter and more salt. Let's check our Parmesan. Oh yes, this is all going to come together so nicely. I'm going to go ahead and kill the heat. Now, if you're doing this, this happens to be Pommes Anna number 7,936 that I've made in my lifetime, give or take 100. If you're not sure about its doneness, what you can do is you can just take a knife and just go ahead and spear it right through. And I actually just felt right now it goes through readily. There's a little bit of pushback, so I'm going to let that just sit there for a second. It's still a little bit of resistance, but it should go through readily. Okay, it should go through quite easily. Oh yeah, look at those potatoes. They're looking beautiful now. Okay, I'm happy with that consistency too. It almost borders on the runny consistency. It's not a super tight potato. Now, do you have to use russet potatoes to do this dish? As I've taught in many of these classes, you guys all know the answer to that question, so I'll let you answer it. No. If you like to use other potatoes, you want to use your Yukon Gold potatoes, which work great for this, use it. However, I would Google a starchy potato, okay? It's hard to find many more starchy potatoes in our wonderful United States of America. You have your choice of a waxy potato, which is a red bliss potato, which is a waxy potato. Won't work really good for this dish. Doesn't have enough starch content in it. Where your Yukon Gold does have a high starch content. Kennebec potato, also be great for this. If you don't know what a Kennebec potato is, those of you people that happen to know what In-N-Out Burger is over on the mainland, raise your hand if you know what In-N-Out Burger is. In-N-Out Burger. One of the only things I truly crave here on the Big Island is a double with fries and a strawberry shake. My mouth is watering just thinking about it right now. Sorry, I know my wife is probably listening at me and she's probably yelling at the Facebook screen right now, saying she wants an In-N-Out as well. Our constant conversation is, what are we going to have first when we go back to the mainland? Are we going to have In-N-Out or Tommy's? And if you don't know what Tommy's Burger is, you folks from Hawaii and or not from the California West Coast area, Tommy's Burgers are a wonderful chili burger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and emulate Chef Robuchon's presentation here. He put fans into it, little waves. There we go. Boy, I'm feeling so much more artistic now that I've been watching Bob Ross on Hulu. Gosh, I might even go buy some paints and a canvas. Let's go ahead and put just a little bit of green parsley right on top of that. Just to bring it out a little bit. So there's our Pommes puree. And let's go ahead and turn our attention over here to our Pommes Anna. That looks beautiful. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this plate ready for this. So I'll show you the flip side really quickly on how beautiful golden brown. So this would get high marks for me. Probably give myself about a B plus. The reason why is the change in discoloration here. It should be a little darker here. I would have liked a little bit more universal color, but I'm being very judgmental right now. This one as well, if you notice, I could have controlled my heat a little bit more by rotating that around. Let's see if it will fit in here. I don't think it will. Lucky. Sometimes I'd rather be lucky than good. All right. That looks great. So I think I might be having fun with potatoes on Wednesdays. I've kind of been trying to do some research to come up with some fun class ideas, and you know, the potato is just it's such a blessing for us as a humanity. It's so versatile. It's so useful. So I just in thinking of what dishes I could do, I can do 100 different potato dishes for you. And the great thing about potatoes also is they're very kid friendly. Very kid friendly. Again, if you do this with your children and they actually touch the food, I'll guarantee you that they'll eat it. If you got a finicky eater out there that doesn't like potatoes so much, this potato dish here is a winner. And again, so look at that. Look at that beautiful layering of the potato. I've got a little bit of crispiness on the outside and then a softness on the inside. It's almost like a very soft hash brown on the inside, if you will. Try that one. I just can't tell you. It's so simple and so delicious. And again, if you think about our ingredients that we used today, what do we have? We had heavy cream, butter, potato, and salt, and clarified butter. Butter and clarified butter, let's call them both the same thing. But that's literally 4 or 5 ingredients. And to be able to make this delicious food like this is just, it's such a blessing. So, I'm going to go ahead and try my Pommes puree, make sure that that's perfect as well before I give it to all the folks that are still here. Oh, it's got a little essence of the garlic coming through in the cream, but it's so soft and velvety on your tongue. And then you get the little bit of salt with the potato. It's really delicious. I would highly suggest you try this, have some fun with it, have some fun doing the potatoes. Okay, we'll see you on Friday. We're going to be doing some pancake art on Friday. Okay, we're going to have fun with pancakes. We're going to continue our fun with pancake Fridays. I couldn't come up with a cute acronym for pancake Fridays, but maybe we'll work on that. If you have them, you can send them to us. Okay. So once again, signing off here. It's Chris Allen, Executive Chef at Papakona Restaurant. Look at our beautiful view from Studio D. Visit our website, papakona.com. That'll give you any information on our upcoming food menus that we'll be doing as we move forward out of this coronavirus. All of you stay safe out there. Bon appetit.